Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers' rendezvous where the topics are priceless and the conversation is free. Hey, Ed Markowitz here. I'm on the road today. Just happened to stop off at a Starbucks and let y'all fill y'all in on what's going on this weekend. I'll tell you what is going on this month. One thing is No Shavember. What do you think? Got a little bit of fuzz going there. Also, it's November. You know what that means? Sweater weather. Yeah, oh yeah, sweater weather. Also, it's Nanowrimo, National Novel Writing Month. Yes, that's what November is. How many of you out there have been putting pen to paper? I know everybody's got at least one fiction and one nonfiction book. That's probably a memoir deep down inside. Do the best you can this month of get some of it out on paper, or at least out there in ones and zeros on your keyboard. Anyways, here we are in Portland, Oregon. I'm outside apologize if there's a little bit of automobile noise in the back. This week on the show, our friend and co-host Lee Lynn was running the controls. Well, Alan's really running the controls. But Lee was running the show because I just got back from a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious vacation. Yeah, right now Lee happens to be up in West Virginia with one of our great segment hosts, Mary Kay Watson. And Friday afternoon, you know where you can find them? At an antique store, I'm sure. They're out there having a lot of fun filming each other at the antique store, hopefully coming up with some treasures in the book realm. And we're going to see a little cut from that next week. And on this week's show, we are going to have, as usual, David Hess of Orange Books in Orange, California. David is holding this postcard. It's like an accordion-style postcard. It's a album of military humor called One in a Million. One in a Million. Apparently, it was sent by a soldier at a camp in Texas to his relatives back in Missouri, back in Missouri. And he's going to fill us in a little bit more about what he's been able to research on that. Always coming up with good stuff. Whether he's on Facebook or Instagram or here on this show, he's gaining quite a following. Then we're going to have Barbara Lowe. Barbara's from the Ephemera Society. She's a periodic contributor to our show and a great liaison to the ephemera world. She's going to have some advertising showing children. I think this one's a child with a lawnmower, the Buckeye lawnmower. And then she's got another one that she's going to share with us. It's an advertising card of a child doing laundry. What's wrong with that? Let's get the kids to work and start paying for their college education, right? Well, apparently, the essence of her discussion that she's sharing with us is that in the late 19th century, there was a blatant overuse, maybe even abuse, of children in advertising. Who would have thought? But now that you think about it, you don't really see that many kids on advertising on television. I'm looking forward to that one. That one's got my curiosity piqued. All right, Barbara, looking forward to having you on the show tomorrow. And Richard Morey didn't make it. His segment crashed, but he has found some really good things. Miniatures. Don't you love miniatures? I recently saw a miniature on Twitter, and it had it was like less than an inch by 3/4 of an inch. It had the entire Our Lord's Prayer printed on one page. I mean, it was even more than that. Those things are some of them can be really amazing. Anyways, Richard has found a treasure trove of those, and he's going to bring them to us. And then the last segment of the show tomorrow is going to be me. Yeah, I'm coming back from vacation. I was in the Balkans from Greece all the way up to Hungary. And this week we're going to talk about one of my favorite towns that I stopped in. And here you see some ruins of Corinth, Greece. Corinth, that Acropolis you see there, right now there's only 7 pillars. When it was original, that Acropolis had 36 pillars. Could you imagine how big it was and how magnificent it was? That was dedicated to Helios, the sun god, who was claimed to have founded the city. But 36 pillars in that Acropolis once upon a time. So Corinth is a city that's strategically located right at the isthmus of the Peloponnese. It's about halfway between Sparta and Athens. It was absolutely crucial throughout history. Uh, there, or not, just a little bit south, maybe 20 miles south of Corinth, is the ancient city of Mycenae, where Agamemnon, the king who marshaled all of the forces to attack Troy, came from. Um, it once boasted 90,000 people, and in 44 BC, Julius Caesar declared it the capital of Greece. And the other thing I'm going to talk a little bit about, this isn't just a slideshow that you're going to be able to nod off through. I'm going to talk a little bit about a mythology. The Corinth has a tremendous back history of mythology. Old Zeus sitting there in his chair overlooking his kingdom, seeing what kind of mischief he could get in. And then finally, I'm going to finish up with perhaps the most famous piece of, shall we say, literature, history, certainly Christian history, religious history. St. Paul's 2 letters to the Corinthians. Oh yeah, we got some. Going to show some artwork in here. Talk about how stories were told in the old days. Stories were told with mosaics and with pottery and with sculpture. Not so much with books. And then we're going to finish up with St. Paul. And people believe he actually wrote 4 letters to the Corinthians, but he lived in this city for 18 months as a tent maker. So very interesting history and connections there. All right, folks, that's what's on the show tomorrow. We're going to be coming to you at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's our daylight time. Starting the day after on Sunday, we're going to be turning our clock back. Yeah, we're going to get an extra hour, but we have to convert that to PST versus PDT, Eastern Daylight Time. Anyways, that's what's coming up at 12:30 tomorrow. And you can find us on Spotify, on Google Play Books, anywhere your favorite podcast is played. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We've got you covered, and we've got you smothered. That's it, folks. The Rare Book Cafe, the book lovers' rendezvous, where the topics are priceless, the conversation is free. Join us tomorrow for another episode. Bye-bye.